Hello, this is Ultra Titan Z, and I just got back from seeing Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. Now, what did I think? Well, I thought it was even better than the last one, Godzilla vs. Kong, which I thought was a really great film. Both highly entertaining, just really fun, a really good time. You feel it gets me all pumped up. Really, really fun movies. Just make you feel all warm inside. Well, it makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. I know that might be a weird thing to say about a giant monster movie, but that's how they make me feel. So, I think what this one did better than the last one was all of the things it did right. It increased that, and then the things it didn't do so right, it kind of decreased that. So let me explain that. So I think the main problem that both of them had, Versus and X, was that the pacing was really weird. The movie, it was a lot shorter than it should have been. They're going all over the place. Honestly, I think the last movie actually did that a little bit better. I don't know. It was weird. It was off-putting because we were just learning about how the Hollow Earth worked for the first time. This one, it actually made a bit more sense because we're going underground. But I still think, like, as a movie, it was just going too fast. But at least I understood why it was going fast, And then what's the other thing? The characters, they decreased the amount of characters so we could just focus on, like, the main four, which was great. Because that's all we need. I thought they were good enough characters. They're not, like, amazing, but I think they're pretty good. And I think they do just the job just fine for exploring the world from a human perspective. And I think the Kong story was awesome. That's what it's all about, right? I thought, I thought Kong's honor. I gotta say, I didn't watch a lot of the trailers for this movie because I wanted to keep it a surprise. So, a lot of it is kind of surprising to me. So, seeing Kong, just that initial fight scene where he fights the other giant apes, I thought was really, really cool. That was when I got like really hooked into what was. Well, no, I was hooked even before then because we got. Is it Scylla? I think that Titan's called. In Italy, Godzilla sleeping in the Colosseum. So much stuff happening. We're seeing Godzilla consume nuclear energy for the first time. I think that was pretty cool. What else? He fought Tiamat in the Arctic. He's popping out of the iceberg like it's the original King Kong versus Godzilla. What am I missing here? That's just the Godzilla stuff. The human stuff, we're learning more about the Iwi culture. They got people underground. We're learning they're connected to Mothra. Again, I think all this stuff is so cool. I haven't even talked about the Kong thing. I think, what's that little monkey called? Suko? Is that his name? I don't know. I thought it was really, this movie could have been so bad, but I think they explained everything enough to where it was logically passable. And as I always want to like really understand everything that's going on. I don't just like the stuff to happen. But I think this movie did a great job of explaining all that was going on in a short amount of time, which is very hard. I still was kind of lost on some things, but it made me feel like maybe if I research this later, maybe I'll get it. But I was just doing that inner logicifying of what was happening in my head. There's a better word for that, but that's all I got right now. So that was the thing. It explained things. I love seeing Kong beat up monsters. I love all the different monsters we're seeing. Doug's back. That's cool, I guess. I love seeing it as a habitat. Hollow Earth, and with all the giant monsters living in there. I love Kong using his traps. Again, playing into his intelligence. I think that's awesome. Scar King is an awesome villain. I thought he was really awesome. It's about time we see another Kong villain. I think he's great. I loved seeing Kong fight other Kongs. essentially. Let me go back to what Suko's. Yeah, I was saying I like what, like just like a lot of the things in the film. I like what they did with him. You know, he's learning from. He's a bit cautious at first because he doesn't have a great experience, you know, with big apes. But you know, he learned from him, and then they got along. And then you know, I love so many things. Kong throwing the rock and hitting the one guy in the head. Kong punch, a lot of Kong doing anything, honestly. It's honestly a lot of Kong beating up other things. When he punched that one ape in the face after he was yelling at him for helping one of those other slave apes up. And she fought Scar King. I love the whole like whip, bone spine whip thing. And then it's also got like that crystal that controls Shimo. Shimo's awesome. Fantastic looking monster. She looks great. Love that we finally get a big ice monster. And she really was big. And I think that was even more awesome. You know, it felt all fantastical when Kong was inside that big lava cave, and then you've got this giant chained up monster coming out. And it's a monster chained up by monsters, and Scar King rides her at some point. And it's so insane. There's just so much going on, but it's all really awesome. It just feels like a classic fantasy tale of myth and legend. I love mythology, so this is, you know, really great. Oh man, I don't even know where to go. There's just so much that happened, but yeah, it's just the fight. The visuals were always amazing. Fight scenes were great. Loved seeing Godzilla go to all these different places all over the world. Yeah, it was just great. Kong was the main character, and then we had humans that were good side characters, and then we have and Mothra was back. How could I forget Mothra? Mothra is something I never expected to see in this movie, but they cleverly tied her to the Iwi culture, which I thought was really really smart, because that, you know, it condenses like a lot of the explanations for what's going on. Like, oh, she's tied to these people who are tied to the monster, so it makes sense. The one thing I don't understand is how Mothra just kind of appeared. Like, was it the old Mothra being resurrected? Was it like was it an adult in stasis? Like, because there was no egg that a larva hatched from, so I was just confused on that. So that's one confusion I have. But yeah, for the most part, it really was a great film. I mean, I can get very excited about these and say it's like my favorite movie of this series of all time for a lot of different movies, especially these. But yeah, I don't know. This one, I think the MonsterVerse is finally finding its footing. I should probably do something on Monarch, but I haven't actually, I don't think, done a video on that yet. Maybe I have. I've forgotten. But that's, like, this, I think that really helped the MonsterVerse along, like, kind of catch it up to where it is now, because it kept trying to throw so much stuff at us, but Monarch really helped that, you know, explain a lot of things. And then that show basically did all the exposition for us, while giving us a decently compelling human drama. And then this is the big monster payoff. And now I think the MonsterVerse is finally in a good position, and I can't wait to see where it goes from here. I love so many concepts it has, and I am really excited to see what happens. I really got to get on those comic books and the novelizations. I got to read a lot now. I got enough books to read, but now I got to read more books. So, yeah. Well, that's all for this video. See you guys in the next one. Goodbye.